everybody to this week's episode of In the Library of Graphic Literature, Christmas edition. And here we have Santa Claus and Wallace Ryan.
Yay! And this is our special 24 books of 2024. And he's looking so cute there, isn't he? I tell you, is this a cute cat or is this not a cute cat? He looks great in his all his finery and all that.
He's so tolerant, very tolerant. And
he purrs when you put it on him too. A lot of cats will get rather, squirmy or whatever. But he started purring when you put it on him, right? There he is. Okay. I guess we can film him for as long as he'll put up with it, and then we'll let him have his break. So shall I start the countdown?
This was this number 12?
No, 24. We have 24 books. I have 2 stacks.
Oh dear God.
So we're going to go through them quickly, some of them.
We try to.
Yeah.
That's how much you like the chalk.
Yeah.
Chalk.
Well, I'll get you to, you can announce the titles and I'll start to talk and without going overboard this time. Ready?
19 minutes and go.
3, 2, 1. Okay, this is
Godzilla, the original Marvel years.
Da-na-na-na, for you Herb Trip fans. It's basically Godzilla versus Shield, really is what it is. But they're pretty good. They're it's a fun read. Bill Mantlo, I do believe, was the writer for all these. But I mean, it was I bought this series when I was a kid. No, Doug Munch. Sorry, I bought this when I was a kid, and I like the series. So this is definitely number 24. Da-da-da-da. Next up is Volume 9 of which completes the entire collection of
For Better or For Worse.
Da-da-da-da. Now this, of course, tops off the series. I got it all, and I'm starting to read them now. I've been waiting to get them all. I thought it was going to be 10, but apparently it was only 9 volumes. This is by the Library of American Comics.
I finally showed him an episode of it.
Oh yeah, it was kind of fun. But I always did like her. She got a beautiful style to her drawing. Like, it's a great cartoony style, and I think she was ahead of her time, really, right? Because I mean, this stuff became very popular. Funny enough, around the time that she was ending this, the autobiographical thing was really big in comics at the time. So number 23 was For Better or For Worse. Da-da-da-da. Hopefully for better. Now, this one is not the one in particular, but this is Den volumes 2, 3, and 4, which I do believe came out this year. But I'd actually put it in for Den number 2, but I couldn't find it. I know I got it somewhere. But Den was a great comic that was in heavy metal, and it was done with a basically airbrush, but beautiful artwork. This is Den number 4, of course. Now the coloring tool for this entire series was done by Jose Villarrubia, and it's absolutely stunning. He restored, because some of the artwork did fade over a period of time, but he restored it beautiful, and it was fabulous. Look at him there.
Santa Claus is thinking about scratching his next victim.
Yeah, he's doing the thumpy tail now, right?
He's so tolerant.
He's being very well behaved. Now he's like, okay, what am I getting out of this? Now this one is
Sniff the Book.
Sniff the Book. You like it? Okay, give us the name there.
Batman Cult, the Deluxe Edition.
No. Now this is Jim Starlin, who created Thanos, actually, and Bernie Wrightson doing the art, who co-created Swamp Thing. So the two of them together on Batman, which was
he got me.
He got me, which was a very interesting choice of people. The artwork is really cool. It's very different for Batman. Wrightson had only drawn Batman once before in the Swamp Thing comic. So he returned to give it another try about 10 years later. But the Cult, pretty good. Now, this is the only comic actually in the whole countdown, because I know that eventually they're going to release it, but I loved it so much that I decided to throw it in. Is
Hate Revisited.
And this, of course, by Peter Bagge, and it's the only comic in my whole run of books. It's funny, but it is. It's it's an absolutely hilarious comic. It's very edgy and all that. A lot of people will be upset by it or whatever, but I don't care. It's very cool. So worth getting. Now, what is it? We're 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. I guess this is 19, I guess. Da-da-da-da. Oh. You think it's time to set him free?
Perhaps.
Okay. Yeah, he's getting a bit overly squirmy. Okay, and this is from Bill Mantlo and Michael Golden.
The Micronauts.
Da-da-da-da. The only reason, there's 3 volumes of this out, but I only wanted the first volume because I only liked the art in the first 12 issues by this guy, Mike Golden, who's one of my favorites. He also did a series called The Nam, which Dennis and I had always been complaining about, oh, they haven't released The Nam yet, blah, 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 blah. But apparently recently they've announced they're going to be releasing The Nam by the same guy. His cover is not Golden, but it's Dave Cochran. But great series, especially the first 12 issues. So worth getting.
I haven't read it.
It's pretty good, actually. Next up is War Comics. And this is cool because it has some early Marvel. This is from the 1950s, and they're like war stories. A lot of Marvel's staff went to war, and this is sort of some of the experiences they went through, including Gene Colan, who went on to do Howard the Duck in Tomb of Dracula years later, and did amazing stuff with it.
I think this cat's going to call PETA on us for holding him against his will.
Yeah. Okay, next up here, this is
Donald Duck.
Vacation Parade. Now this is a totally wordless comic.
I can't do Donald's voice.
Yeah, me neither. My brother Rob can do it. He can do it really good, right? And it's a totally wordless one. It's him going on vacation and everything goes wrong. He gets attacked by bears and everything like that. The entire thing is just his vacation going downhill. And going downhill fast, may I say. Onwards now to Superman, the Silver Age Omnibus. Dun, 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 dun. Now I like this mainly because it's there's some of it is done by this guy Wayne Boring, but some of it is also done by this guy Kurt Swan. Kurt Swan I do believe did do some of these. And this is basically, when I was a kid, this is the comics. So it would be like 59 into 60 and all that. And especially towards the end, it's Kurt Swan did some of the stuff, but loved early Superman. I was a Superman fan actually growing up for some reason. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me to explain, but I was. So
it's more in the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And the X-Men.
I liked Spider-Man, the cartoon series, funny enough, and I collected Marvel Team Up, which was a team-up book of Spider-Man and another character, but not the main title, which was really weird. Speaking of which, we have here DC versus Marvel Omnibus. Now this does contain in it the classic Spider-Man, Superman versus Spider-Man edition.
Why would they be fighting?
Well, it's the typical thing, they first meet and they think each other is a villain and they end up fighting it out a bit and then, oh my God, you're a superhero, oh, so are you, okay, well, let's get together and blah, blah. It's a storyline that's as old as the hills, right? But I had this came out in a much bigger format too. It came out.
Kind of reminds me more of Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah, well, that's sort of, there are other ones.
Video game.
Well, there were other ones in this. Yeah, and there was other ones in this like.
There's a joystick movement gesture. Yeah. There's a joystick there.
Yeah, joystick. But in this includes the X-Men. There's the X-Men and Teen Titans team up. So, which was very good at the time. The X-Men and the Teen Titans were both very popular at the same time in the 80s, believe it or not. People are surprised when they find out that the Teen Titans was super popular back then, right? Okay. Now, next thing, we got a couple of big books here now.
Giant Size Superstars Fantastic Four.
Da-da-da-da, Volume 5. Now, this contains the issues just after Stan Lee had left, and because Stan Lee was really phoning it in for the 12 issues that he did after after Jack Kirby left, and it just the quality just dropped through the floor, leaving everyone to think that, oh, obviously it was all about Jack. But Roy Thomas and Jerry Conway took over, and it became actually an interesting comic again in the mid '70s. So this one actually is worth reading, because I mean I even collected it back then too myself, right?
He's been such a good boy there.
I'm surprised actually. He's been so well behaved. It's making me suspicious.
It's like, what's he up to?
What's he up to? What does he want? Well, and we're about halfway through our pile here now. Now this is another favorite of mine.
The XFactor.
The original X-Men. This was a series came out in the 80s because the original X-Men were taken over by the new X-Men and all that. So Jean Grey, who was supposedly killed off, came back, and so they took her and Cyclops and all them and put them into a separate team called X-Factor, which is basically like the old. It was like the old X-Men come back, and it wasn't too bad. And then I don't know how far into it, but so far into it, the art started to become done by one of my favorite artists, Walt Simonson, and his wife, I do believe, even wrote some of the episodes too. But it was great comics for the longest time, and Walt, like I say, still to this day, is one of my favorite artists of all time. So this and like I said, I actually bought these comics when they were coming out.
I thought it was Mobius and like that other guy.
Oh, there's other people, yeah, there's other people, but that's one of my favorites.
Oh,
Now,
speaking of Mobius.
let's see.
Break it out. Break it out.
Now let's see. Do we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh. Oh my God, do I got all of them there? Let's see here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Wallace is
8,
having some technical difficulties.
10, 11, 12. Yeah, okay, 12. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Just had to count to make sure I had them all right.
You're starting to worry me, Wallace.
No, what it was the comic. It's so thin I wasn't counting the comic. So we're into the final 12 now. And speaking of Mobius, funny enough, Mobius the Major. Now this is not for your average comic book reader, because it's a very surreal journey into to the mind of Mobius using this character of his, the Major. I mean, it's beautifully drawn, though. I gotta say, I love how this entire thing is done.
It's all done with pen.
Oh yeah, just pen and ink, beautifully done. I mean, the drawing in it is simply amazing. But like I say, it's a very surrealistic journey. But it's so beautifully drawn. To me, the art alone is what puts this. Oh, and the art alone is what puts this into the top. And I don't mind showing off so much of it there. Just absolutely stunning artwork, stunning. And Mobius, of course, you're right. I love Mr. Mobius. So yeah, the Major, translated, of course, by our pal Diana Schultz, who does an amazing job, because to translate from French into English and all that, it's not just a straight translation. You're telling a lot of the story, retelling it. Oh, and this one here, da-da-da-da.
Houses of the Unholy.
Boom, 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 boom. This is Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. They do a lot of crime noir type of stories. This one's about it's a story centered around the satanic scare of the 1980s, when everyone thought that there were satanic cults loose in the United States, sacrificing children and cats and all that. When in fact it wasn't true. It was mass hysteria, and people, So I mean, all the stories were the same. So I mean, there were people who were prosecuted everything over this until they found out that it was all a pack of lies. So just to give people a heads up, mass hysteria is possible.
Salem and down in the States made an actual tourist destination out of it.
Well, exactly. And think of the last election. If that's not mass hysteria, I don't know what is, right? Okay. Now, speaking of Gene Colan, who we were just talking about, this is, and has been waiting a while for this one. This is the...
Were we just talking about him?
Yeah,
Sure.
in the War Comics.
Oh, okay.
This is Daredevil Volume 3. It taken a while. Volume 1 and 2 came out, and it took a while until Volume 3 came out. He's been very well behaved. But this had some... Gene had a huge run, like about almost 75 issues on Daredevil. And, of course, a good pile of them are in this. This goes from... 75 up to 110. So there's about 25 issues that are by him. And funny enough, they included a few issues at the start.
You doing?
There are a few issues at the start of the Black Widow. And funny enough, some of these are actually done by Gene too. He did a... there it is. Gene, the Dean Colan. He did the art on that series too. But anyway, this for any of you Gene Colan fans, this is a must. It's a must.
You got his hood up somehow.
He's loving it. You like that, don't you? Yeah. See, he likes. I always knew he was a Gene Colan fan.
I think oddly enough, he likes this jacket.
Yeah, I know. Okay, and now this one has two. There's besides being a great Garth Ennis. This is the guy who did. I think he did Preacher. Was it? Garth Ennis, who did some great comics for DC. This is one of my favorites.
Bibbles and Bubbles.
Hitman. This is a guy who's like a superpowered hitman, but he just likes assassinating bad people, right? So he's a murderer, but he's a murderer with conscience and taste. It's a really fun comic too. But the other fun thing about this was one of these. Oh, he's gonna tear this thing down. Seriously. This was one of those books that had appeared on Amazon for like half the price of what it was supposed to be. And Dennis ordered 2 copies, one for me and one for him. So we got this for like what is it? It retails for 125, 160 American, and we got it for like about $60. So $100 off, which was fabulous. Oh, there he is. He kind of looks like a Jedi Knight. A Jedi Knight and Christmas put together. So this is it, Hitman. And now we're down 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 8. This is number 8 in the parade. This is
Someone call Peter.
Oh. Okay. And this one is rated there.
The Final Cut by Charles Burns.
And this is sort of it's a very, very strange artwork. Are you going to set him free? What do you think? Is it time or what do you think about that there, Pussycat? Yeah. Oh, he likes it. Anyway, this is Charles Burns. This is a my God, the light went out. One of our we lost one of our lights there.
That's your cue to hurry the hell up.
Yeah, we'll hurry up. Anyway, this has really strange artwork, but it's kind of a neat story. It's about this guy shooting a film of his own. Charles Burns stories are always kind of they're kind of on edge. There's something gone wrong, really, with the people there. Oh, here we'll show it to you up close. Da-da-da-da. Now on to this is number 7. Oh, and this is a good one actually. This is you can read it for the people.
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Da-da-da-da. And this by Tom King, one of my favorite authors.
Cheer me up.
Oh. I think it's time. I think it's time to.
Give me my arm back.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I think it's time
Excuse
to
me, sir.
set him
Excuse me.
free. Set him free. That's it. Better show him out of the studio here. Come on, get out. Get out. Do you want to take him out here? Show him out the door. Out you go.
Get a little jacket off him.
And while you're doing that, I'll talk a little bit more about this. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, the deluxe edition by Tom King and Bill Keys. Everly, I'm not sure, but the artwork is absolutely stunning. Beautifully, beautifully done. And it's unlike any other Supergirl story I've read. It's actually one of the best Supergirl stories I've ever read. She's a bit more of a kick-ass character in this one, right? Oh, there it is. Oh. Oh, that's weird, hey?
It didn't make a very good noise.
No.
I think that light is kaput.
Yeah, I think it is too. Anyway, this is a classic Supergirl story. And like I say, she's a lot more of a kick-ass character in this. It's just like well, you got to read it. All right. Now we're into the last 6.
Something is killing the children.
We're not sure what it is, and it's comic book related. Of course, Something is Killing the Children by James Tynion and Werther Dell'Edero. It's an amazing series, and it's about these monster hunters who are out hunting these monsters that are out there killing the children. And it's just amazing. The artwork is so cool. The stories themselves are it's a great series. If this is not made into a TV series sooner or later, then something's seriously wrong with comics. Okay, here we are now. We're into the last 5. Bum, 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 bum. And what would be last 5 of any stack if it wasn't this one you'll like. Here. Oh. What do you think? Okay.
I think I'm down.
Oh, okay. This. Oh, careful. I don't think it's gonna.
It will if I pull it out the other way.
Okay. So this is from Matt Kint and Dan McDade. Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. This is a book from Dark Horse called "If You Find This, I'm Already Dead." Da-da-da-da. Great, and this is an amazing book. This girl follows these people into a dimensional rift to see what happened to the people who went into that rift before them. And let me have a look, see how that looks on the camera. Actually, yeah, no, looks very colorful. Anyway, this book, this is an amazing book. Actually, like I say, it's she goes into this dimensional rift looking for people who went in and never came back. So you can imagine that, right? But it's an amazing book. It's kind of like, oh God, it's like Stranger Things cross with, I don't know, half a dozen other stories. But even better than Stranger Things. Okay, we're into the final 4 here now. And this one, Printopia. By Bob Fingerman, yay! It's about this girl who works in a woman who works in a print shop. She likes working in dying industries, as she says, and it's absolutely hilarious. There's a variety of color styles throughout it. It undergoes a few color changes according to some characters and situations. So it's so worth reading. Now, of course, I picked this up mainly because I was a huge fan of Bob Fingerman's. He did a series called Minimum Wage in the 90s and 2000s, which was absolutely amazing. And when I seen this book, I was like, oh, I should get this just to have a read of it. And I read it and it was like, my God, this book is amazing. And it is. Now, we're into the final 3 here now. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And this one is
Hellboy and the BPRD.
55 to 1957. This, of course, I love this book. I mean, I love anything done by Hellboy and the BPRD crowd. Mike Mignola and all his pals. The whole series, I mean, all the different books. As a matter of fact, I got a couple of different books for Christmas set in the BPRD universe. This one, of course, a bunch of different artists and some different writers, but absolutely amazing series. I love every one of these books. As a matter of fact, I'm rereading some of it now just to see what it's like. Okay, and our number 2 book is
Hellblazer.
By Jamie Delano, and this has the first, oh god, what is it? First 22 issues of Hellblazer, bunch of issues of Swamp Thing, and but the Hellblazer stories they're absolutely blazing, blazing with horror and social commentary. Just a series so worth reading. You know, from the early days of Vertigo, when Vertigo was really kicking butt back in those days, right? So, and it's too bad more great comics aren't being put out like this. Now they have it here on the Black Label, but they have revived, thankfully, the Vertigo label after foolishly killing it off for some reason.
And last but
not least is
Drafted
by Rick Parker. Yay! Jazz hands. This is an amazing book. It's made number 1 on a few lists, and it had to be on mine. Rick's a good buddy of mine, and actually even got it signed. But this is an amazing book because it's a lot of people, you know, they read the Vietnam comics and all that, and you know, they're after a while, you know, it's just like, okay, we've heard every Vietnam story, but this is really good because it's basic training. And now he didn't lead, he served mainly in the United States, but I mean some of the stories like this one where he has to take care of a bunch of washouts, guys who didn't quite make it in the army. And I mean these people were, I mean you got to be pretty bad when even the United States Army doesn't want you. And then they have these war games things, and it's also sort of a slice of life of him as he was growing up. And in the last chapter, he attends the funeral for a soldier killed in Vietnam, and it's just heart-wrenching. But I love this book. It's gotten a lot of good reviews too, and I know Rick's going to be surprised that I put it at my number 1. But it is so worth reading. I've been promoting it heavily, and he got another book coming out, The Artiste, that he's working on now, and I've read some of those, and they're amazing too. He's a master storyteller, I gotta tell you. Even we talked for an hour one time in preparation for when we had an interview one time, and oh god, he's a joy to chat with. But anyway, number 1 book for 2024, Drafted. Da-da-da-da. And that's it for this year. I guess we only have about a minute left, so we'll try to end before then. Actually, not bad. We got 24 books in within 24 minutes. So thanks for having us over, everyone. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus for those Festivus survivors there. And the Happiest of New Years. We'll be around in the new year with actually our big books.
Have a joyous winter solstice, and Happy Hanukkah, and Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, and
everything like
Happy
that.
Diwali, and all that like.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for having us over, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. We're going to do big books. We'll do big books for you.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Bye. Stay tuned. See you later.